This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey guys, this is Good Work Waco, and I'm your host, Lydia Tate. Well, welcome to Good Work Waco. I'm your host, Lydia Tate, and we are talking with Grassroots Community Development today. Executive Director Mike Stone is here. Mike, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, it has... I know Grassroots from my work at Christian Women's Job Corps.
Mm-hmm.
We had some financial classes with Daryl Abercrombie because everybody loves Daryl. He's
Daryl.
So great. And so I really wanted to have you guys on the show because you're this little secret in Waco. And I had an organization that was also a little secret in Waco. And
Right.
I love talking about the Waco secrets and all the great work that we're doing.
Let's not make a secret.
Let's not make a secret anymore.
Right.
Let's be loud about it, right? Okay, bring us up to speed. Tell us about the history of Grassroots, how you guys came to be, things like that.
Almost 25 years ago, 5 guys started having breakfast and lunch once a month, and they would look at different models of nonprofits around the country. And all the guys did something in real estate. So they wanted to use their real estate skills background to help people. So, and it took them about 2 years of doing that. And they finally found a group out of Atlanta, Georgia, that FCS Ministries, a guy named Bob Lupton. And his whole focus was increasing the number of homeowners in communities and helping neighborhoods along the way. So, so they went out to Atlanta to go see. We heard about this guy. Let's see what he looks like. And they toured 3 different neighborhoods, saw the great results, and they were working on a 4th one. They brought Bob here to tour what Waco is, and they drove around and said, yeah, Waco has some problems. And he said, it's real simple, guys. Just pick one area, study that whole area, figure out what's the strengths, what the weaknesses are. Start in your strongest part of your neighborhood and work to your weakest part of your neighborhood and start increasing the number of homeowners. And that's how they started 2001.
That's amazing. I mean, they literally just looked for the best model that they possibly could and then brought it to Waco. That's incredible.
We continue to do that. Everything that we do is copying somebody else because
it's a compliment.
Yes.
It's a compliment.
Yeah.
It is. So tell us about where we are in Waco,
Sure.
Grassroots, where you guys started to plant these homes.
So we first started in North Waco, 18th to the river, Waco to Colcord. That's where we first started. There were 600 homes. There were 200 vacant lots. And that's where we started our work. We started just building houses. Mm-hmm. So we're like, hey, we're going to build some houses and we're going to sell them affordable and we're going to help a lot of people. And quickly realized there were a lot of people that weren't prepared to buy a house. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't anybody really set up to help people with that. Realtors and bankers are prepared to help people become homeowners, but not really coach people through the process. And then we found that there's an industry out there of nonprofits that do that. They're called housing counselors. So Daryl Abercrombie, who you got to know, and myself went to a bunch of classes, took some tests, and became certified so we could coach people how to become homeowners. So we started doing that. And we've seen 3,100, 3,200 people that have gone through those classes. And we didn't even count y'all in that number, the Christian Women's Job Corps number of people in there. That would be even bigger than that because we do lots of little bitty classes like that throughout the year. But the whole goal of that effort is to coach people so they can prepared. So when they go to a bank, they can get a yes, and then they can become a homeowner. Okay. So everybody's scenarios are different.
That's right.
So we have one-on-one, face-to-face counseling, and then we give tools to people through our classes. So Daryl was giving you a snippet of the class that we teach,
right,
and then trying to encourage them to come and take the full class and the full counseling so they can become homeowners. So that was the beginning of our home ownership type efforts. As we're building houses, we got to meet our neighbors and realize that we're building this nice new house, but there's this house next door that needs some repair. That needs a new porch built on it. It needs painting. And then we had all our friends from church groups and stuff saying, hey, we need somebody we can go send these youth to go work on their house. So we started putting those 2 groups together.
Okay.
And we've, thousands of hours of volunteers that have come and do that kind of work. One of the things kind of related to that is we kept finding houses that have leaky roofs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you a story. The best story I have is we had a lady. She wanted us to paint her back door.
Okay.
That's all she wanted us to do is to paint the back door. So I went to her house to get her to fill out an application so we could paint her back door. And when I walk in and sit on our couch, there are buckets and pans all over her living room. And I looked around and I said, "What's that for?" She goes, "Well, it's going to rain tomorrow." I said, "Well, what are those for?" She goes, "That's where all the rain hits. When it rains, it comes in my roof and it hits on my floor." And she had this really pretty wooden floor, and she was protecting it with all those buckets. I was like, you know we do roofs. And she goes, "No." I said, "Here's the roof application." So 2 weeks later, we had a group out there, volunteers, and we re-roofed her house and we painted her back door.
And the back door.
Right. So the back door is simple, but that was a roof. So we found a group that does volunteer roof repairs. They use high schoolers, seniors in high school, and college people to re-roof houses. And they've been coming to Waco probably 15 years doing that. And it's a partnership too. So they find a local church that they can take over their church for a week. Mm-hmm. So it becomes their dormitory.
Okay.
So they sleep there, and then they come to us to look for projects, and we'll find roof projects or painting projects or whatever projects they want. A lot of times they will recruit other churches to provide lunches for them so that the local churches are feeding them during the week. And then we partner with the city of Waco. They provide the money to buy the materials for all that. Roofs are expensive, $2,500, $3,000
yeah.
for the materials, and the city provides a grant for us to be able to do that. So we pull 3 or 4 different groups together to make that happen, and we've been doing that almost every year for the last 15 years, doing roofs or painting or a combination or whatever. So
that's incredible.
So that's probably the end of our housing piece, but then because we got to know the community, we started saying how else we can help, and we started community organizing is what we call it. So it's our staff coming alongside existing leaders, listening to their dreams, and then helping them accomplish those. So it can be all over the map. So it can be like one neighborhood association wants to have a job fair for their community. So through us and through Waco Foundation, they have a grant program that does that. Again, another partnership. We're just the vehicle. The Waco Foundation provides the money. The neighborhood association is the one pulling all the resources together, and they organize a resource fair so that like 15 or 20 businesses can come and offer job interviews and opportunities and all. Yep. And they canvass their community and say, "Hey, we're going to have this resource fair, trying to find you a better job or try to find you a job." So they do that. And we have been doing those kind of activities all over the place. I think we have 7 of those projects going on right now, all different flavors. None of them are our idea. It's the neighbors in the community's ideas. We're just trying to help facilitate it.
Yeah. Let's talk about why home ownership is such a great vehicle for economic stability. And what does that pathway look like?
Sure. The single biggest purchase most families make is a house. So, and we always coach people and say, everybody is going to pay a mortgage. You either pay yours or you pay somebody else's. And so we encourage people to be paying their own mortgage. So somebody buys a house, and then later down the road, they have an issue and they need money to be able to do that. They can leverage the money they've been investing in that house to be able to help, whether that's a sickness, a big medical bill, or something like that. But those are kind of the key resources key reason why we tell people, hey, you're going to pay a mortgage, so let's make it yours and not somebody else's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that money is going to go out regardless, and making it your own is so important. So tell us, share a story about just a time when you saw a family impacted by this process of getting a home.
The favorite one I have is Robert and Maria. So Robert and Maria came to us, young newlywed couple, and they came to us and went to Daryl. We're counseling and went to all the classes, and they had all sorts of issues on their credit. They had 3 different truck payments on their credit, and none of them were theirs. They'd lent their credit to other family members. And it was all being paid, but on paper it looked like they had all these loan payments that they were making, and they had a bunch of credit card debt and some other debt. And on paper, there was no way they could afford a house. So we're like, well, the game plan is let's pay off your debt and get your relatives to finance their own vehicles out from underneath you, get them off your thing. And they talked to us for about a month or two, and then they just disappeared. And we were calling, trying to reach out to them. Hey, what can we do? What can I help you with? And nothing. 7 years later, they come back and walk in unannounced and said, "All right, we're done. We're ready. We're ready to buy a house." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Well, all of our credit's clean. We got all those loan payments off, those car payments off. We paid all our debt off. We've actually saved enough money for a down payment assistance, and we have a little 2-year-old boy now. So we want a house for our little boy." So we're like, okay. And they were totally ready to buy a house. 3 months later, they're in a house.
Wow.
So Robert and Maria, great story.
I love that. Let's talk about the houses.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know I've bumped into friends and they'll say, "Oh, well, it's a grassroots house. It's a grassroots house." And I love this because it has really made a tremendous impact on specific areas of Waco. Let's talk about the houses.
Sure. When we started in North Waco, the homeownership rate was about 36%. That means 36% of the homeowners, the houses there are owned by the people who live in them. Now it's about 44%. So we pushed the needle a bunch.
Wonderful.
We want 55, but we're creeping up towards that. And I think the next time I do a count, it'll be even higher. It keeps creeping up. So we build single-family houses. We don't rent them. We sell them. So our typical house is about 1,400 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's a great, most people would call it a starter home, but it can be a forever home too. It's big enough and well built enough that it's good. So we use subcontractors here in town to build it. So Habitat is another nonprofit, does great work in here. We don't want to compete with them. They serve a part of the community. We serve a different part of the community. We actually work together on a lot of different things together.
That's wonderful.
But our houses are for sale, and they go to a lender, and hopefully 3. So we can get them to shop loans and figure out what's the best deal.
Work through the whole process.
Right. They do the whole process, and at the end, they're the homeowner. So we encourage people to come through our financial literacy and our home buyer classes so they can learn basic skills about how to become a successful homeowner, how to get ready for that. And then we're also there afterwards. So we have some people that call us almost every year because there's some little mailing they get that makes it look like official, but it's not official. It's a scam. And they want to make sure, hey, I think this is a scam, but can you verify it, Or
we've all gotten those letters.
Yeah. Or the property tax, property tax process is a little confusing. You get your assessment in April, but it's not really, it looks like a bill, but it's not really a bill. And then do you protest? Do you not protest? So we help them
Lots
through
of
all that.
homebuyer education. Let's talk about the financial literacy classes. I know these are a wonderful service that you're providing to the community, not only for your home buyers, but also just to the general population of the community. Anybody can come. So walk us through what that looks like.
Sure. So we have financial literacy classes 7 times throughout the year, and we teach everything from budgeting to credit cards, lending, all the basics that you would need to know, that you should know when you graduate high school, but we don't teach that. So, but it doesn't matter if you're ready to buy a house or not. Everybody should take the financial literacy classes. If they don't take ours, there's others out there.
Yeah.
But take them so you can be wise in the money that you have and how to manage it. So we use a combination of our staff and professionals to help teach segments of it. We do it remote so that people, or actually it's a hybrid. So if we use Microsoft Teams, so you can be at home and you take the class, or you can come to our office and you can take the class there. So COVID helped push that along so everybody can get used to being remote. And we're just like, no, this is a lot easier for us, all parties. So.
Well, it's convenient for people who do have children or
Mm-hmm.
they work at night or something like that. They can make that work for
There's
whatever
no
schedule they
transition
have.
time.
Sure. And then the home buying classes, the counseling classes
Right.
for home ownership. Walk us through what that looks like.
So financial literacy applies for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's how do you manage your money and how do you keep from getting into trouble doing silly things. Home buyer is more specific about buying a house. What is a mortgage loan? What is taxes? What is insurance? Getting an inspection? What's a realtor survey? There's a bunch of terms that you only need to know when you're buying a house, and then
Amortization.
and then you don't need to remember them anymore.
Right.
But it's all the basics of all of that.
Yeah.
We bring local experts in. We bring an inspector guy to come and tell them, hey, these are the top 5 things you need to be looking at a house. He goes, but you really need to hire a professional inspector to come and look over the whole house because he will find things that you won't find, and that's what you want to know. You want to know. You know what is the condition of this house. So
that's really wonderful. What other programs do we need to know about that maybe aren't in relation to those specific financial literacy, housing, counseling, and then the homes themselves? There's a few other things that you guys.
Sure.
You mentioned roof repair. This is
Right.
huge.
Yeah, we kind of in concert with the roof repair is just volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 2 programs, one in the spring and one in the fall. We call it spring into action and fall into action. So, and it's low skill, no skill requirement. So some of it's just basic cleanup. So there's some people that have gotten in trouble with city code and they need some help. Most of them
That's wonderful.
physically can't do the work.
Right.
And it's too big of a problem. So we just had it 3 weekends ago for fall into action. We had 5 different houses. So we brought 70 people out there and split them up and picking up trash and removing debris and just helping neighbors with that process. So we'll take volunteers every year. We put it on social media. Hey, the fall into action or spring into action. This is when it is, and this is what you need to do. We have church groups or businesses. They want to bring a group of people. Baylor students come and volunteer. So,
that's great.
So we do that throughout the 2 times during the year, and then if a large group wants to do like a week project, like in the summertime, we'll partner with them on that. And like we just had a gentleman when I was leaving, he needs help painting his house.
Okay.
He's not physically able to do that.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't have anybody right now, but we will have somebody. So we'll put you on the list. And then when a group comes to us, hey, I want to do some sort of project, then we can try to put them together and say, here's a project if you want to do it. And here's this gentleman that needs help. So we'll do that.
It's really wonderful. Those are important opportunities. Just helping people clean up their homes when they're not able to clean up their homes is a huge service alone, let alone helping paint or repair roofs or anything like that. What do you have a specific area of Waco that you focus on, or are we doing a larger part of Waco?
We originally started only in North Waco, and we were really rigid about that for the longest time. And the city council members from East Waco and South Waco kept asking.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, can you come and do work with us? And then finally the paper made an editorial about it and said, hey, what's it going to take for grassroots to come into East Waco? And we're like, money. So, we don't have more staff or money to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And through donations and local foundations, we were able to expand into East Waco. And immediately after that, South Waco's asking, hey, what about us?
Okay.
So then like a year or 2 later, we expanded to South Waco. So we mostly are focused in North Waco, just because that's where our roots were. But we still do work in East Waco. We still do work in South Waco. So the spring and fall into action that I was talking about, we rotate between the 3 areas.
Okay.
So we were in North Waco. In the spring, we're going to be in East Waco, and we just flip-flop around. We built houses mostly in North Waco, but we built a couple in South Waco, a couple in East Waco. So we're everywhere, but it's mostly focused in North Waco.
So one of the things that I've been super impressed with Grassroots over the last 6 years that I've known about you guys is the level of collaboration that you do in the community is actually really, really remarkable. You believe very deeply in partnerships. Let's talk a little bit through what your partnerships look like nowadays, and then like what particular things you want to mention in terms of this is, collaborations that we've really focused on, and how does that fit into your mission?
We don't believe we're the solution. So we come from a mindset of asset-based community development. In other words, the community has assets. We just have to leverage them, and not meaning it can be the community right there, or it can be the community right next to it. There's assets to be used. We just try to take advantage of what is there. So we do a lot of that with our community organizing work. What is the strength of the North Waco community? They have somebody who had experience organizing job fairs, so that's why they're doing that. Sanger Heights wants to expand on their block parties. They want more neighbors to come together, so they convene that, and we help them find resources to make that happen. Brook Oaks want to expand their National Night effort and bring more community resources to their community. So we help them find some resources for that and people to do that, and help them organize meetings. So in our community organizing piece, not only we are focusing on their assets, but we're also trying to encourage them and help them with leadership skills so that they are in charge of it. We're trying to be in the background. We don't want to be the one in charge. We want them to be in charge. So
that's really great. So this community asset, it's a really, really wonderful way of approaching community development. I think it's worth mentioning that you do work very, very intentionally with the community to say, where are your strengths, and let's continue to lift those up and add to them. And I think that's a really important thing. How has that led to new collaborations?
Every project we do is collaborative. I mean, we don't do anything by ourselves.
Yeah.
We were just brainstorming some ideas, and it's like, well, we need this group and this group and this group, and then we're gonna have to convene 5 different groups together to be able to try to tackle a problem that people are talking about. And it's like, and more of it's bringing them together to talk, because they're going to find the solution, and they probably have the resources to be able to do the solution, or at least the beginnings of that. And so
good.
I call us the operators or the connectors. We don't have it, but we know people that do. Or we ask them to come and talk and see if there's a way to solve that. Waco is very collaborative.
It really is. It really is.
And people, I don't really see the territorialness. We work with us, NeighborWorks, and Habitat. We're all nonprofits working on housing, but we all work in different spheres, and we all refer people back and forth.
Right.
So Habitat will have a client that makes too much money for them. They'll refer them to us or NeighborWorks, and then we'll have clients that it's like, there's no way they can afford a traditional mortgage, but they could fit in the Habitat model. So we refer them to the, we do roof repairs only in the city of Waco. Habitat will do repairs outside the city of Waco. So we refer people over to them and back and forth. So we
love it.
We what is it? Rising tides.
Rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, we all believe in that model. So we've run across it several times where there's a grant we can't apply for, but I think they can apply.
I think you could apply for it. Yeah.
So I refer it to them, or vice versa.
I love that.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast is because there's so many organizations in Waco that do work very, very collaboratively together. And what makes us as nonprofit leaders really continue to do this work and continue to stay at the helm of organizations is the fact that it is so wonderful to work with the Waco community. They're so generous and they're so giving, and there's so many fantastic organizations doing such amazing work. Let's talk a little bit about what gets you up in the morning and what keeps you going in this industry for so many years.
I like to help people. So We have a little thing. I didn't know I would said it, but every time we got done with staff meeting, I would say, "Let's go help some people." So they put it on the wall, and they won't leave the staff meeting until I say that. So
Oh,
Daryl gives me a hard time. Goes, "Say it."
we're
Yeah,
not dismissed yet.
yeah. So
That's
no,
great.
I'm a engineer by training, so
Okay.
totally unrelated to this, and I've done lots of mission projects, mission work in foreign countries. So that's serving people is in my heart.
Love that. Love that. Okay, let's go help some people. Well, speaking of, let's say I'm a client. Let's say I am somebody who needs help with their home,
Sure.
and I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do, and I'm listening to this podcast. And I'm like, wait a second, what did he say?
Yeah.
So how do we connect our friends, our neighbors, our relatives, and those around us for service?
They can go to our website, grassrootswaco.org, or they can come by our office at 1624 Colcord. We've got a bunch of different applications. We have ours and others as well to connect people to resources. So,
Great.
or they can just call and talk to somebody and say, how do I get connected?
All right, let's go ahead and give the phone number just in case
sure,
somebody's
yes.
listening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
254-235-7358.
And the address was 1624 Colcord.
Right.
So that is over by
It's right across the street from the beautiful Waco Family Medicine
there
Building.
it is. Yeah, the brand new Waco Family Medicine Building.
Yeah.
So if you're there and you want to talk about housing and you want to talk about
across the
getting a
street.
house, you're just right across the street.
Yeah.
And I think this is important. Let's say the website one more time too.
Grassrootswaco.org.
Yeah, grassroots with an S, waco.org. Wonderful. And so then let's talk about volunteers. So you have sprinkled in volunteer opportunities throughout the conversation. People can connect with groups to come and do group projects,
Right.
all sorts of really wonderful things. What is the best way for volunteers to get connected, and especially group volunteers? Because it sounds like you guys need group volunteers a lot.
Brian Shavers is our project manager for that kind of stuff. Just call the office, and his extension is 210. So, and ask for Brian, and he'll get their information, and then he'll put them together. We've had multiple large groups come to us, and we just find the projects and hand off the projects to the groups. So we had a group from Houston that came for about 4 or 5 years in a row, and they would do any from 20 to 50 projects. I mean,
Wow.
they were incredible. I mean, they top-notch work, and you just point them in the direction they would do it. So.
That's amazing. That's good. That's good work, Houston. Good job, guys.
Yeah. So one of the other things we're always looking for professionals for financial literacy and home buyer classes.
Okay.
Teaching a 2-hour class or 1 hour of the 2-hour class.
Yes.
We're also partnering with La Porta for a financial literacy class in Spanish.
Wonderful.
So we've done 3 or 4 different financial literacy classes in Spanish, and most of them with La Porta. So everybody needs financial literacy. So we bring Spanish-speaking professionals to teach those classes. Daryl doesn't speak Spanish, but Jose, who works in our office, does now. So, but we also want multiple people's experiences to help teach that class. So we bring in realtors and educators and mortgage people to help teach all that concepts for the home buyer, the financial literacy classes.
The financial part of it. Yeah, that's great.
And then we have that all on our website, so they can go there. You can register online, for the classes there, and then you can take them online, like I was talking about earlier. But the Spanish classes are going to be in person. They're at La Porta. We're trying to grow our number of clients that we counsel that are Spanish speaking, and when we get big enough, then we're going to have our own class in Spanish.
That's great. That's great. So connecting about those classes, if you want to sign up and take those classes, again, that's on the website. If you're interested in volunteering, you can call the office and talk to Brian, or you can visit the website to volunteer.
Right.
All right, now this is a special moment in Good Work Waco where we talk about money. It is money time. Let's go. Okay, now we know that we can't do this work in nonprofit without talking about money with everybody. And so I want to talk about how donors and sponsors, businesses can connect. Anybody who wants to bring out a group to help with a project, things like that. What is what is it that you want to let donors and businesses and sponsors know in the community of what your biggest needs are?
Like most nonprofits, unrestricted income is probably the best way to describe it. We don't. You can go to our office. You can see we don't buy furniture for our office. We borrow or find leftover furniture. I mean, the money that we get, we spend to help people. So it's very focused on that. We do 3 different fundraisers throughout the year. So people like golf, they come play golf with us.
All right.
We have Top Golf, which is, that's like a video game golf. So anybody can play that guy.
Don't tell my kids. It's real golf.
It is real golf, but it is anybody,
It's fun.
We do that in there. And then we have a banquet in April. So we feature people that we've been a part of, help tell their stories. So those are probably my favorite. So if you go to our website, you'll see in the front and center there's some YouTube links, and it'll have some good stories of people that we've interacted with. And there's probably 9 stories on there.
Love it.
And then one of them is featuring some of the former students of Sanger Avenue School that's there. So that's another way for that. So multiple ways for people to get involved for a donation. We're like any nonprofit. If you want to give us a donation, we'll take it.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
I like to tell everybody, your $5 is awesome. Your $5,000 is awesome.
Yes.
We'll take it all.
We will cobble together as many pennies as it takes.
That's right. That's right. Well, what is the best way for donors to get in contact? Maybe somebody wants to take you, they want to go to coffee and talk more about investing in grassroots.
Sure.
What do you think? How can they get a hold of you?
They can call and ask for me. I mean, you can just call. I'm Mike Stone. You can find me. So you can call the office. I'm extension 206. So
there you go.
So and we'll be glad to sit down and share what we're doing. We do some tours from time to time.
Okay.
We call it a hard hat tour, and we can kind of tell our story in our office. You don't have to walk very far. It's just up and down the.
I was going to say, do we tour the neighborhoods, or just the office? Okay.
Just the office. We've done some driving tours, so you can see some of the work.
That's great.
If you just drive down North 15th Street, you can see any of the brick houses that are on North 15th Street. Probably every one of them is one we built.
That's right.
So we've built quite a few there. I think we're at 74 houses now. So.
Okay. So hard hat tour is going to have to be on my list of things to do.
Sure.
So, and then make sure that you're connecting with Mike if you want to talk more about how to invest in grassroots and get the tour and get the 411. Anything that you would want the community to know about the work that you do and why it's so important before we sign off.
The biggest project we are ever tackling is the Renaissance at Sanger.
Okay.
So that's a city block. Used to be the site of the old Sanger Avenue Elementary School. And we helped the city convene a bunch of community members to try to figure out what they wanted. Then the community wanted more houses. So we thought it was going to be somebody else. It ends up being us. We're going to be the people to build houses. So we have plans for 25 single-family homes there. So we're going to get started on the infrastructure here in probably January timeframe, and then we'll have houses coming up there. So we got great videos of some stories of some of the former students there on our website. They're great stories. You see about 6 minutes of the video there. I think it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours of video of actual interview. They have great stories from that. We're very excited about that project. Biggest effort we've ever done. So
that's incredible. That's really exciting. Well, I'm grateful for the work that you guys do in the community. I'm grateful for the spirit at which you do it and the collaboration that you do it, and the ways that you are all investing in the Waco community. It's really incredible.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, thank you for listening to Good Work Waco, and you've been hearing Mike Stone with Grassroots Community Development, and I hope that you'll say it with me. Good work, Waco.
Good work, Waco.
If you want to learn more or get involved, follow me at Good Work Waco on social media platforms and listening platforms everywhere. And hey, by the way, Good Work Waco.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.